Good morning, everyone. In the present day's class, the concept of this bipolar junction is being discussed in the case of this mechatronics subject. Looking after the major contents of the lecture, having an introduction to this bipolar junction transistor. So, what is the basic concept of this transistor? In the yesterday's class, we have been gone with respect to a semiconductor concept and the forwarding related to the topics in the case of second unit. We are moving on with respect to a transistor. So introduction related to it, the BJT, bipolar junction transistor, and its operational characteristics and its configurations and different applications related to the transistor and the conditions of its biasing, different biasings. We'll be having a detailed look in the today's class. These transistors, in the case of the solid state components, electrical components, this transistor was invented by the team of scientists at Bell Laboratories in the early 1947-48 period. So the major advantages of this incorporation is indeed to overcome the vacuum devices, which occupies the maximum dimensions of the entire room in the case of fitting these electrical components. So the major benefits of overcoming these vacuum devices or introducing of these transistors, or these are very much less in size, and even when compared to the weight with respect to the vacuum tubes, and no heating elements required. Slight soldering is enough, which will be operating with a slight variation of this normal atmospheric range of temperature. It lowers the power consumption and operating voltages, and even it is available at an less price also. There is a less in economical status. So these are the major factors that transistors came into the force. Moving on to the basic introductions related to the transistors, yes, it will be comprising of three different connectors. These are transistors of various dimensions. Will be of a transistor in this format. In this format, relating depending upon the capacity and the area of utilization has been manufactured in different dimensions, different transistors, right? So the transistor will be forming with an sandwiching of two different diodes, either PN diodes or NP diodes. And here we have already gone to an semiconductor concept in this class that PN junction diode, that is in the forward biasing and the reverse biasing. So here the sandwiching of two PN diodes relates with respect to a common terminal of PN, that is an N or P. Depending upon this holes and electrons, there will be forming a three different layers based upon the connectivity. Those are this emitter, base, and collector. E refers to the emitter, B refers to the base, C refers to the collector. PNP, it is specifies the forward mode of conduction of electricity. NPN refers to the reverse biased condition of the transistor. So transistor comprises of three different layers. There is P, N, P, or even the N, P, N, sandwiching of two NP semiconductors, PN semiconductors, with a common terminal of P and with a common terminal of N, leads to an formation of types of transistors which are different in modes of operations, either forward mode of operation and reverse mode of operations. Yes, these are having very thin when compared to the other two layers. That is base. Base is having very much thin layer when compared to the emitter and next the collector, because base is lightly doped and emitter is heavily doped, collector is moderately doped. Coming to the NPN condition of a transistor, emitter and collector NPN. So middle one it is on base. Base is made up of this P type, whereas in the PNP, that is N is made up of base. So extensively, both these PNP and NPN are used in the circuits for various kinds of processes. Here are the symbolic representations of PNP transistor and the NPN transistor. The arrow mark specifies or indicates the flow of current, and depending upon that the characteristics can be analyzed when compared to the voltage with respect to base and collector, with respect to base and emitter, and with respect to the emitter and collector simultaneously in the case of this NPN also. Arrow is a major comparison element that specifies the voltage variations based upon the input supplied, input given to the transistor. Here in the BJT, we're having two junctions, that is emitter base junction, as clearly specifies with respect to the diagram, emitter and base, right? This is in one junction, combination of N and P, and a combination of a P N. This is in one semiconductor, and this is in one semiconductor, as we have discussed earlier. That is a sandwiching of two different semiconductors lead to a transistor. So hence, P is a common terminal here utilized in the case of NPN mode of a transistor. There is base acts as a base, which is lightly doped, where emitter is highly doped and collector is moderately doped, right? So what is the case of doping we have already discussed in the previous class, addition of the atomic to a feasible generation of voltages. So here there are two different junctions simultaneously in the case of P and P also. Here P and N. Here N will be acting as a base and a common base collector, and next common emitter one junction, right? So collector base. So collector base junction and emitter base junction. So collector base junction and emitter base junction. So this device is called bipolar junction transistor. Bipolar junction transistor because due to the motion of two types of charge carriers takes place. That is free electrons and holes. Comparing in the case of N and moving on with respect to N electrons and P there is holes, and simultaneously this electrons existing in the N, that is emitter. It is being sandwiched with respect to the P type, that is base, with respect to two electron existing upon excitation. We'll be having a detailed look of this construction of transistor PNP and NPN, and as per the symbolic representation or connectivity basis, the symbolic representation will be like this, and emitter base collector is an P and P and NPN. Because of PNP, we are having this PNP transistor, we are having the arrow mark flows towards the from emitter to base. Charge flows in an forward movement direction. Hence, the voltage that is being developing between this emitter base junction, that is voltage emitter base junction, and here the current flows from emitter to the base, and here from this base to the collector. So the voltage characteristics that has been learned between base and collector, there is voltage, or between this volt collector and base and collector. Simultaneously, the flow of current or voltage is being developed between emitter and collector. So voltage emitter and collector simultaneously for the NPN transistor. So what are how many modes of operations are being existing in the case of this transistor? We are having three different modes. First one, it is forward active mode. Second one, it is saturation mode, and cutoff mode. So in the forward active mode, as per the junction bias condition, the emitter base will be in forward movement here, and collector will be in emitter base will be in forward movement, and collector and base will be in reverse reverse bias condition. And in the case of this saturation mode, emitter base will be in forward and collector base will be in forward. Here clearly specifies this forward current flows from IE flows from E to B, and simultaneously the IC from B to C. I flows from B to C. I is nothing but the current or charge. In the case of this cutoff mode, both the conditions will be in reverse mode. So hence this is the cutoff mode, and moving to the reverse, that is current flows from collector to the base and from base to the emitter. All right. So NPN condition, PNP condition, and forward active mode. That is the nomenclature clearly specifies the three modes of operations are being carried based upon the junction biased system, junction biased conditions, that is P type, N type, and P type, or N type, P type, and N type. PNP and PM. So forward active mode. So each and every transistor, that is PNP, either PNP or NPN, can be operated in three different modes. That is forward active mode, keeping emitter base in and forward and collector base as in reverse condition, and saturation mode, that is emitter base in forward, collector base in also in forward, and cutoff mode, emitter base in reverse bias system, collector base is also in a reverse bias systems. So as per the circuit system design, whatever the operations that are being necessary to be done for the movement of or passage or connectivity of the uh, charge from one region to another region, these biasing systems or biasing conditions are satisfied. Going to an operational characteristics or operational mode. These NPN transistors, as discussed here, operating on PNP is similar to the rules of free electrons and holes upon interchanging when compared to the NPN transistors. So, looking at this a formal operation in the case of this NPN transistor, this emitter and base junction should be in forward biased, and collector base junction should be in reverse biased. Hence, the depletion width at emitter base junction is very much narrow, that is in forward biased conditions, and the depletion layer width at the collector base junction is very much wide, that is reverse biased. We are already aware of this that the in the forward biased system, this the junction or depletion layer will be very much narrow, and next in the reverse biased condition it will be very much wide, as we have been discussed in the case of semiconductor concept in the yesterday's class. So the depletion layer width at an emitter base junction is very much narrow, the forward biased condition in the case of this NPN transistor. Simultaneously, in the reverse biased condition, this depletion width at collector base junction is very much wide. So here, the flow of this electrons and holes generation of in the forward biased condition system and reverse biased condition system is specially initiates here. So emitter electrons that emits identification of this base and emitter characteristics, identification of this base and next this collector characteristics, and this collector and emitter characteristics. So displayed as per the movement of the electrons and with respect to the holes. Upon collision, this depletion layer concept has been discussed just now. In the forward biased conditions, as we have that this emitter base junction is narrow, and in the reverse biased system, collector base junction is very much wide. So the operation here, when this emitter base junction is in forward biased conditions, free electrons from emitter region drifts towards the base region. So we'll be having a loop over this when this emitter base junction, forward biased condition has been taken, emitter base junction. So forward biased junction system that is being commencing, hence this free electrons moves or drifts towards the poles, that is moving from emitter to the poles. Next one, a base is a very much thin layer, as we have been discussed, that is a very much lightly doped. They have very much minimum holes, very small holes. Hence, only the small percentage of emitter free electrons combines with the holes because the collision or combination will be taking place with respect to the base to form a small base current hole. Because majority of the electrons are existing or skipping and swept away and erasing and entering towards the reverse biased condition junction. It is common collector based junctions. So here specifies that only some of the electrons which are entering from the emitter region towards the base region due to its less in dimension or else the light in the case of this doping and having very much thin in dimensions, this maximum electrons will not be in combined with respect to the holes and bypasses and enters to the reverse biased conditions, that is towards the collector region, that is base collector region. There are we have discussed that there are identification of currents existing in three different currents. Because three different modes are existing, three different currents will be identified with respect to three different terminals. So here we are having three different terminals: emitter, base, collector. So towards the emitter, what's the current? And towards the base, what's the current variations? Towards the collector, or what is the variation of the current? We'll be having a detailed look now. There are three different, as per the BJT, moving on to the emitter current. This is due to the flow of free electrons from emitter to base. As the diagram, as in the diagram, it clearly specifies that current will be developed upon the collision between these free electrons that which are moving from this emitter region to the thin region of base, which are having very small holes existing here, and upon this collision the current will be getting generated, that as a current existing will be calling as an IE, that is emitter current. Simultaneously base current, this is recombination of electrons and holes, because electrons from the emitter region enters to the base region, which have evolution only at that particular region, that is base region. These are having very much small in magnitude, right? So collector current, moving to the collector current, having two current components, because one is due to the intersection of free electrons flowing from base to the collector, and another is already thermally generated minority carriers. There is nothing but it is bypassing from this emitter to the base has been skipped, because large amount of emitter charge carriers has been entered to the base due to the less thickness, less thin and doping conditions in the base region. Some of the electrons will be having impulsion with respect to the holes, and some are drifted and enters to the collector region. So hence, after drifting, in the drifting region will be having, these are having some of the thermal capabilities because of its velocity or moving characterizations from the emitter, that is equals to I, that is specially here ideally equals to the I, right? So these are having the collector current. So collector current is a combination of the injected free electrons from the base to the collector and the thermally generated minority carriers from IE, right? So here the operation of transistor. Yes, just we have been seeing now that from this PNP and NPN. Moving on, first one with respect to the PNP transistor. Just we have discussed that the current or charge carriers which are entering from the emitter region to the base region, the combination of collision of these electrons and holes generates the IE, and next the intersection that is happening at the base junction, that is IB, electricity or current generation, and towards the collector it is an IC. So simultaneously or vice versa in mode of NPN conditions or directions, will be identifying the overall current, that is emitter current is equal to the collector current plus base current. So the current which is being generated or obtained at an emitter point is a combination of both this collector current and the base current. Going to the configurations of this transistor, nominally BJT is having three terminals. For proper uses, upon some theoretical and experimentational process, we are having a major point that it must have two or four leads. Have two or four leads. Due to the reason why should have two or four leads in the sense, due to the reasons, one of the bipolar junction transistor terminals need to be made common between input and the output, because here the input need to be two port device and simultaneously for output need to be two ports device, hence 2 plus 2 it will be 4, or else a single input or single output, and hence two ports. So nominally it must be having two ports or four ports, it has been specified, right? So accordingly, okay, looking after these three different configurations that are existing in the case of this transistor, there is common base configuration, common emitter configuration, and common collector configuration. Common base, moving on to the common base configurations, when the input is applied at the emitter base current at the input, output is taken from the collector and base. So the common base here specifies that when the emitter and base input is applied here, emitter and base and collector, and here applied and output is received here simultaneously in the case of PNP. So by this, what the current amplification or gain current, the ratio of output current to the input current is a gain current or efficient current that is being obtained as the input current is IE and output current is specified with respect to an relation that is alpha is equal to IC plus IE. Then combination of or ratio of this collector, because output is taken at an collector and base having the base as a common, and we are looking after the characteristics at the common base region and omitting this base, identifying this common factor and ratio between this collector current to the emitter current. So alpha is very much less than the unity. Usually it will be having a standard value between 0.9 to 0.99, less than the unity value. Here, for improving the current amplification factor, can by minimizing the recombination in the base, and this is achieved by doping the base very lightly and making it very thin. So better amplification will be getting achieved upon doping the base very lightly and making it as a very much thin. So in the common base configuration, the input is applied at emitter and base, and output is collected in the base and emitter. Simultaneously, in the case of this collector and emitter configurations, the application of input is being taken place at base and emitter. Base and emitter. This is the base and this is the emitter. So between these two. So there, and output is being collected from this collector and emitter, because this common emitter is being should act, this the emitter should act the common between this base and the collector. So hence the input is applied in between this base and the emitter, and output is achieved at this emitter and collector, right? And hence the input current, that is IB, and output current is IC, and initial with respect to the beta, that is the ratio between IC by IB, and hence beta is always greater than the 1, where in the case of common base it is less than 1, and here beta is always greater than 1. Usually it will be between 50 to 200. Coming to the point of this common collector configuration, common collector configurations, the input is applied, and because this collector need to be having as a common for both this base and the collector. Sorry, collector, base and the emitter. So here the common terminal, that is collector. So hence the input is applied at base and collector. So base and the collector. The transistor has been rotated with respect to the previous diagram when you have been considered. Here, see, it has been, the arrow mark has been changed, right? So emitter. All right, emitter, output is taken between the emitter and this collector. So base, emitter, collector. So output is taken between this collector and emitter, and input is supplied at base and the collector, right? So here the common is an collector between input and the output. So let input current be the IB and output current be the IC, and let the ratio specifies with respect to n gamma, that is IE by IB. Hence From the formula equal to the beta, hence when it is equal to the beta, that is IC by IB, IE by gamma, I is equal gamma is equal to IE by IB. This common collector provides the same current gain as the collector base generates. Right. Moving on with respect to N, summary related to these three different phases will be having a short look, that common base, common emitter, common collector. Regarding the voltage gain, input resistance, output resistance, and even the what type of amplification it is being taken, what parameters we are being considering, we'll be having a detailed look over it. Taking the amplifier type and parameters. Here, first parameter is common base, second one is in common emitter, common collector. With respect to the voltage gain parameter, it is very much high in the case of common base, that is 150, and in the case of common emitter, it is very much high, that is 500, and common collector it is less than 1, as we have been discussed. Coming to the current gain parameter, in the case of this common base, it is less than 1, and in the case of this common emitter, it is high, and simultaneously in the common collector also it is high. Coming to the power gain, in the common base it is medium, common emitter it is high, common collector it is medium. Moving to the input resistance, it is very much low, that is 100 ohms. Common emitter, it is medium, 750 ohms. Common collector, it is very much high, that is 750 kilo ohms. It is greater than 750 kilo ohms. Moving on to the output resistance, it is obtained in the case of common base, it is very much high, that is 450 ohms. High, that is 45 ohms. I guess it is very much low in the case of common collector, that is 50 ohms. So where it is being applied, coming to the application point of view, in the case of high frequency application, the common base, the case of this common base amplifying system, amplifying type, high frequency application, in the common emitter amplifier, audio frequency application, that is incrementing of the voice signals amplification or decreasing in the case of its frequency, it can be monitored. In the common collector, impedance matching application will be utilizing this common collector. We'll be having a detailed look of these applications. Transistor as an amplifier, transistor as a switch. So basic transistor amplifier circuit, here it specifies, that is base is in common, and this emitter, input supplied with an emitter, and next the collector is given to and connection towards the output. So microphone generates a small signal, that is base, and this emits or amplifies the frequency, and it generates upon incremental or decremental strategy. So here the process commences, that linearly increasing the signal strength or strength of the electrical signal, and weak signal is applied at the input, strong signal is collected at the output. In the amplification, it increases the current and responds towards the higher in the amplification and results in an at the collector point, that is output, strong signal, which will be obtaining an output at a very much clarity, within very much clarity. For amplifier application, transistor should operate in active regime. So when this transistor is used as a switch, it is normally operated in cutoff mode or and the saturation modes. In the case of this, incremental or stabilizing in the frequency, or else the frequency increment will be operating as an active mode when the transistor is used as an amplifier. In the case of transistor utilizing as a switch, we will be utilizing or operating this transistor in the case of cutoff mode and saturation modes. So as we have discussed already, we are having three different modes of operation. There is active mode, cutoff mode, and saturation mode. Active mode initiates and increases the signal strength. The saturation mode, that is, which is having the one forward biased system and reverse biased system. And here in the cutoff condition, both the reverse biased system need to be implicated, whereas the saturation mode comprises of this forward motion. Conditions for this cutoff mode will be having a detailed look here, and for the saturation mode will be having a detailed look. In the case of this cutoff mode, the base emitter junction is reverse biased and there will not be any input current, and base collector junction is also reverse biased, because in the cutoff region there will be two reverse biased conditions. So hence no output current, no collector current. So obviously we will be neglecting the leakage currents because there is no any collector current and even the output. So transistor here behaves as an open switch. Whatever that is being entered will be delivered as output. Conditions in the case of this saturation point, saturation mode of operation, base emitter and base collector junctions both are active towards the forward biased system. Where in the active mode, one sandwiching or junction should be in forward biased and another one should be in reverse biased. So in the case of this switch condition, we are having only two different modes of operation. There is cutoff, saturation. Where in cutoff there is no any, both are in reverse. There is no any forward biased system. In the case of this saturation mode, base emitter and base collector both are existing these junctions towards the forward biased systems, where the maximum or large input base current is produced, maximum output current, that is collector current, is gained, IC and IB. So here the transistor behaves as a closed switch because the internally both both the junctions has been collected in the cases of this forward biased system. Coming to the point of these advantages, fast switching condition is achieved millions of time in the case of second, low in operating voltage per current, milliamperes or millivolts, less or no noise in the case of switching, switching on off by light, heat or wireless signal, applications of transistors and switch, just as we have been discussed in an on mode and off mode, that is open condition and closed condition. So fridge door alarm, we can utilize these circuits, transistors, a dimming of light, and even the computers specifies the different implications. And transistors and biasing. So what is meant by a biasing system? There is a forward conduction of the current, electricity, and non-conduction of the electricity. There is an acting towards the forward mode and reverse mode, or else three different modes of conditions. That is active, saturation, and next to the cutoff conditions. So applying of external DC voltages to ensure that transistor operates in desired region of mode. Conditioning towards the desired region implies that should operate in active region. So for switch application in cutoff and saturation that we have been seen. So amplification and to increase the voltage generated from the input and increasing in the voltage and delivering at the output needs to be operated in an active mode. So what are the types of biases we are having? Base bias, emitter bias, and voltage divider bias. Going to the base bias, it's a very much a simple circuits uses for about a very few resistors. The circuit is unstable and parameters can be changed with respect to the temperature from the transistor and one transistor to the another transistors. In the case of this base biasing. In the case of this emitter biasing, will be having an approach related to good stability when compared to the base bias. And looking with respect to the circuit construction, that is circuit is unstable because this also changes with respect to the temperature from one transistor to the other transistors. Coming to the point of emitter biasing, it is having main prospect is it is having good stability when compared to the base bias. So base bias, emitter bias, good stabilities, and voltage divider concept prospectus. Unlike the above two circuits, only one DC supply is necessary and having the stable circuit and construction it is very much complex and compared to previous. It requires many of the components such as resistors, capacitors, etc. utilized in the case of this voltage divider. That is collector bias. So among this base bias, it is a simple and operates which is unstable in construction, varies with respect to the temperature, and emitter bias. This can be used when splitting of dual supply, power supply, and the supply need to be split or transferred commonly to two different resistors and having good stability when compared to the base bias. Coming to the collector or voltage divider, it is commonly called as voltage divider. It is unstable circuit when compared to this bias that is an unstable and bias that is an base bias collect and even the emitter bias. This collector bias is unstable circuit and its construction is also comprising of n number of components, that is different types of resistors which we use it to carry the voltage at different current at various different levels, that is ohms. So this is the detailed discussion regarding this BJT, its operation and its biasing systems and characteristics that are being obtained upon conduction the voltage related to across the three different terminals, that is base, emitter, collector, and when the base is being taken as a common, the voltage characteristics has been identified, and when collector is taken as a common, the voltage characteristics identified. When emitter is taken as an common, the characteristics has to be identified. So those are the important characteristics, and later on need to be aware towards this biasing systems. Thank you. We'll be discussing towards this another topic in the next class. Thank you.